Bella, how big was that to kind of stretch it out there a little bit in the second quarter? Y'all seemed to be kind of going back and forth, but y'all got up double digits there in the second quarter.
Oh, it was huge. They're a really good team, and Nicki told us before the game even started and reiterated it multiple times just that we cannot trade baskets with them. We always figure out going 2 by 2 by 2. We gave up a lot of threes in the third quarter. But we just have to continue to, whenever we have momentum, go on those runs and keep our poise. But really proud of that effort. That I think that boost kind of carried us through the rest of the game, and we were able to stay in front even when they went on runs and had a few baskets in a row.
Aaronette, can you talk a little bit about your connection today with Bugs, and that seemed to be working well with, she was finding you down low and you were hitting shots. How is that working for you, and what's your connection with her like?
Yeah, I think it was really successful. We spent a lot of time working on that specific action in practice and shoot around, so we knew we were both supposed to be ready, her to pass and me to find it, or for her to take the shot. But yeah, I love playing with Bugs. She's really an intelligent player, hustle player. She does a lot of things well, so I'm glad we had that connection tonight.
Bella, how big is the second-ranked win of the year and also just being able to stay in first place in the Big 12?
It's huge. This is momentum we need to continue to carry with us. We have to learn from everything that we did well tonight, and then everything that we did not do well as well, because there were things that we can always improve on. But just keeping this energy, and I feel like each time we step on the court, our synergy as a group, it just shows, and it only gets better with each time that we play. So just really proud of us and hopeful that we can keep this energy.
Bella, I know defense is always important to you and this team overall, but I saw Coach Green getting a little fired up, maybe a little bit more than usual on the bench there. Was this one more of a focus defensively this game for you, and how do you think y'all did defensively today?
I don't think we give any one type of offense more importance than another, but West Virginia is really good. They have two really good guards who are 1 and 2 that drive it well. 10, Jordan Harrison distributes the ball super well. And JJ Cornerly, you have to give her flowers. That girl can hoop. She gets downhill. She puts you in tough spots where you got to kind of, do I wall up? Do I try to go for the block? But no, we scouted them well. I feel like the things that we tried not to give up, we did really well. And just our points of emphasis and our focus, we executed and we finished strong to win.
Aaronette, you obviously led the team in scoring today, but 4 players in double figures. Bugs had 9. Just how much easier, I guess, does that make your job down low when you do have other players out there kind of making plays and opening things up?
It's such a big difference maker, I'll say. Just when you have a bunch of threats all over the floor, people have to make a decision on what they want to do. So we all are able to take advantage and eat in different ways, and I think that just is what we see on the stat sheet. And I think that's something we can do every night. So it's a good advantage for us.
Bella, with this win tonight, 5 straight wins, what's kind of been the difference in these 5 games, and how important is it to keep this momentum as we head into the postseason?
The difference is we had a talk a couple games ago just that it was 7 regular season games left before we go into conference tournament and then postseason play. And hopefully the NCAA tournament. But we have a lot of seniors on this team, a lot of seniors who aspire to go do things beyond just college basketball. But in these moments right now, we all have to do it for each other. And they put a big emphasis on the people who this will be their last time wearing a collegiate jersey, going out and just giving it everything that you have. And then, of course, us underclassmen, who are younger, we always are okay, we're doing it for them. So at this point, we're playing for each other. We're trying to have fun and just enjoy these last few regular season games together.
Bella, you were balling early out there. How good did it feel to really strike from deep, and just what was working for you there so early on?
I feel like I finally moved. Nicki tells me all the time, she's like, Bella, you have to move when you're off the ball. I get in a bad habit of standing in the corner. I'm like, do I need to lift? Do I not? And I often overthink, but I found those windows, and my teammates found me whenever I took even just 1 or 2 steps up and got to gaps, and they hit me in my shooting pocket, and I was ready to shoot it.
I guess for either one of y'all, how much do y'all talk about kind of the Big 12 standings, where you are in that picture, and how much of it is really just kind of one game at a time?
We do talk about it, especially right now. With what I think we have 5 games left now, so we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to finish at the top. So yeah, just taking every game very seriously, knowing that there's not really much room for slippage or error.
Thanks, Sikkim.
Nicki, I guess one thing, how did you feel like y'all handled the press? Didn't seem like they turned you over much.
I thought we handled the press. I thought more of our turnovers came like pushing in transition, half court type of couple post feeds, they do a good job digging when you drive. And so I thought they kind of came. There was a couple, I thought Sarah had a couple uncharacteristic ones in the third when we got stops and got in transition. But the press itself, I thought we were really poised. And we broke it 2 different ways. The first half, Jada really brought it up 90% of the time and used somewhere between 6 and 8.5 seconds probably every time. And I just thought between her guarding Quinterly and doing an amazing job, and then she was dead by the time we tried to enter into offense. And so I thought we went to a little bit more of a passing game in the second half. So Bugs touched it more, Bella touched it more, Sarah touched it more, but it kept a little bit of the fatigue, I thought, off of Jada. But yeah, I thought our press break was good. They never got in that steal score type situation.
We've seen Bugs score and rebound today. She was dishing it pretty well. I guess what was working between her and Aaronette, and aside from Nettie just making shots, but what was working between that connection that gave you so much success?
Well, the way they play their zone, and they tried. They did actually a really good job of trying to keep their 5 on our 5. Like last year when we played them, they consistently brought their 5 up to the high post, and then we were posting up their 4s. And man, Kaya Watson is literally one of my favorite players in the Big 12. I freaking love her. I love her game. I love the glue. She's everywhere all the time. But if we get to post up Nettie against her, that's probably an advantage to us. And so I thought we did a pretty good job with a couple set plays. We were flexing and trying to get them to switch the screen and then play high-low. But really our just high-low passing, we weren't running a lot of intricate zone offense. We weren't trying to pass and cut and overload. We wanted to get the ball to the high post and throw it to Nettie. And so sometimes, coaches overcomplicate the game, and against them, the way they stretch out, you're in trouble if you have to pass too much because they'll play passing lanes.
When you've got 70 points in that starting lineup, what does that say about the versatility and just flexibility there and how you can see that build off the ceiling of the team?
Yeah, I think, this is just uncharacteristic, honestly, this season for us. But I think 2 things were in play to me. We needed sure-handed ball handlers tonight, and Aaliyah's never played against West Virginia. Not that West Virginia. When she was at Texas, she played against them, but that was a different West Virginia. And so she was kind of running from the ball. Yaya was kind of running from the ball. I didn't think they were, particularly bad. I thought Aaliyah got to the offensive glass, did some really good things. But those guys have been so good for us lately that this was unusual. And I anticipate this is going to be just one of those games when you get in these streaks. It's today it was Bella making shots and making a lot of shots in the first half. It was Nettie carrying us in the second half. But, I think we had really good balance. 16 threes is awesome, and to make 8 of them. But, yeah, I thought we rode the starters tonight. And the only reason we could is because they haven't played more than 30 minutes in any of the last 3 games. And so because of that, I could ride them because I needed to tonight. And I never count Bugs in that. I know she played 37 in the last game, but she just gets better the more she plays. So I don't count her.
Nicki, Bella said, I think you told her she needs to move. Is that what's kind of opened it up for her? This last stretch, she's shooting the ball.
Yeah. Bella has a tendency to ball watch, and she's such a good shooter, and we always tell her she leaves points on the board by not getting ahead of the ball, by when the ball goes into the high post or the low post not moving, being there on the drift. We had a drift 3 that she made in the second half, and when you move, you also get to move into your shot, and so you're not just catching the ball and always having to get a one more type pass, which certainly we love to shoot one more passes, but the more passes you get from inside out, that's the best way for any shooter to shoot the basketball. So in particular against the zone, you have to move against them because otherwise they stay really matched to you, but they also defensively will ball watch. So if you move, you'll be open. So I'm glad she said that. We talk a lot about that.
Coach, I asked Bella this. 5 games in a row y'all have won. What's kind of been the difference in these past 5 games, and how important is it to keep this momentum as you head into the postseason?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we're shooting the basketball well. I thought the last game we didn't shoot the 3 as well, but we've had really good balance, which we've had all season. We've had different leading scorers in just about every game, but we're playing to the most open person. We're playing. I thought today when you think about the stretch that we've had, we've been in game, walk through 2 days before game, and then hour and a half practice before we play. And that's been our routine for these last 4. And so we've done a good job, probably because we're a pretty veteran team, of playing to our game plan. Building walls up against JJ today, playing to the high post and looking for the high-low. We're trying to keep it really, really simple because our players are good enough that we don't have to be intricate, And so from that perspective, I think that's been a lot of it. I think we're shooting the basketball well. We're playing to our game plan, trying to take away other people's strengths, making them make tough twos. We didn't foul. We fouled a little too much, but it was a unique game. There was no fouls in the first half. There was no such thing as a foul. And then the third quarter, we were making up for it. So it was just like a unique game that way that the players had to figure out in the middle of the game. Okay, in the first half, we were mauling each other, and now we better not touch each other. So it was just kind of a unique game for them to manage. Oh, go ahead. Ask some tech questions. You want me to talk about tech?
Hey, Nicki, could you talk about tech?
I think they've been really competitive this year. They may not be technically record-wise in the top half, but just watching them last week against TCU, was really close at halftime. Didn't quite have enough offense to stay with them, but I think they kind of go as Maupin and Shavers. I think back to Bugs and Bella's freshman year. It was one of those 4 was freshman of the week every week. So obviously Bella and Bugs are mainstays for us, but a lot of their success is through, is Maupin making shots, is Shavers getting downhill and getting to the foul line. Obviously we will face Danae Fritz, which will be, a unique experience. But I think they're a team that plays hard. They run a lot of sets, and a lot of zoom action, a lot of different things that you have to if you make a mistake in screening action, they'll beat you. They ice everything. So they do a good job philosophically with their ice defense, with their they'll pressure full court some, little different than more of a diamond press, but they'll run and jump you a little bit. So going to see a little bit of everything, and they're always good in Lubbock. So certainly not a team we're going to take for granted.
I mean, how do you Bella talked a little bit about this being a senior-laden team and kind of wanting to play for each other going down the stretch here. I guess with it being so tight at the top of the Big 12 standings, kind of as you go on the road for a couple games, how important is it to kind of stay together and keep that inward mentality, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, look at the teams. This is veteran league. When you look at TCU and their seniors, Kansas State plays a ton of seniors. They have some young ones that come in, but there's a reason why the teams at the top of this league are having success. You know, and there, you can't beat experience. There's like, you can have great players, but 2 years ago when we were playing freshmen, we battled like crazy, but we couldn't always finish. And so I don't think there's any doubt. We talked a lot before, not this game, but the game before that, that we had 7 regular season games left, like that these seniors were guaranteed 7 more games. And it just goes by so quickly. Careers go by so quickly. And so, like, when you think about the younger players on our team, which there aren't a lot, but you never know when it's going to be the best team you ever play on. And, you know, like when you're a freshman, you're like, I got 3 more years. The team you're on your freshman year might be the best team you ever play on. And so, like, really honoring your seniors, honoring the opportunities that are in front of you. And you know, when you set goals, and I said this the other day, there's a lot of teams in our league. I'm sure everybody started with the goal of being conference champions. Like, nobody's like, oh, I hope we finish 9th. But I think when you look at the standings, you've got a lot of teams that still have the opportunity to win it. And so you can't take anyone lightly, because someone's going to win this league. It might be a tie. It could be a 3-way tie. It could be, you know, a seeding nightmare for the Big 12 tournament. But I think our league is really good, and people don't talk about it enough. And so I know maybe we're not the most glamorous league when it comes to, like, our teams at the top, but we're pretty dang good. And I would put the teams in our league up against anyone. I think about what West Virginia did against Texas early in the season. Like, the teams in our league can go compete with SEC teams, with Big Ten teams, with ACC teams. So, you know, we just got to battle. We got to prepare like we've been preparing, and then just show up and compete.
Nicki, has it been just game to game? I'm just wondering how they're handling the pressure of being in a race.
Well, there was a lot of singing and dancing in the locker room pregame today, so I think they were pretty loose. And, you know, I'll always tell you, I would rather be tight and then be loose. So they're young. This should be fun. The pressure should be on us to get it right and help them. But I think the lighter we can make it for them. You know, one of the things that we've done it's the first time in my coaching career that I've done this, as our practices have gotten shorter, and we certainly still do individual workouts at times, but every practice we finish with 50 made threes and 25 free throws. And I just think there's a direct correlation between us shooting the basketball better. Like, it's not, you know, it takes an extra 15 minutes, but they just partner up, and it's just something that we're doing, and it's working, you know. But we're doing less shooting drills in practice that way. But, you know, oftentimes those are the shots we talk about. I mean, for us, the fact that we only made 26 baskets is not a lot compared to what we've been making, but 19 of our 26 baskets were assisted. Like, we're an assist team. Like, you're never going to see us have 26 baskets and 5 assists like some teams. And so, like, we are shooting off the pass, you know, and so practicing shooting off the pass is really important. Thank you.